Let me not scream. I keep forgetting I don't have to do that no more. You know what I mean? I'm all up. Yo, what up, guys? That's done. It's a wrap. It's over for. We don't have to do that anymore. Things are changing. Things are changing mighty fast. Things are changing mighty fast. Mighty fast. They're changing mighty fast. So I'm very happy. Very happy with how things have been going. And speaking of changes, that is what this reading is going to be about. Okay. Look, I'm seeing how the other readers get that loud ass noise. The meter is going up like crazy when I'm shuffling this deck. Alright, so let's go after it, guys. We're going to see what changes are coming in for you. Before we do that, we're just going to chat a little bit about change, what it means, how to prepare for it. It's off the dome. Let's just chat. For one, I want to say there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to be taking place. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see this by way. Hold on, let me shut that door. See that? Yeah. Ooh, I know y'all seen me almost get jacked up. I'm gonna shut the door. We're gonna turn this. We're gonna do a couple things. I need better curtains, but I don't want to be blacked out. I like to have some natural light. I'm an in the crib person too. It's crazy. Like, I'm really like a vampire. I usually don't go out until it's dark. So in the daytime, I really need light, like, to shine through this mug. So trying to keep up with my vitamin D intake. You feel me? So basically, there's going to be a lot of changes that we see take place, not only in our own lives, but just throughout the world. And I mean, we're seeing a lot, and I'm just going to let y'all know. And I said this in the past. I think I said this back in 2020 when everything first took place, major shifts. We all had to stay in the crib. We was put on punishment for like a good year and a half, something like that, right? So at that time period, I think I did a reading on just what it meant. I don't know if it was it might not have been an actual tarot reading. I think it was a new. I know I did both, but I believe when I spoke on like what it meant, what was going on, that really came into play in the numerology reading that I did. So I basically took up the words of what we were going through and spelled that out. And within that, it was stating that we're definitely seeing a huge shift and things were going to begin to change. So we got major changes that are coming our way. And we're going to see them, like I said, not only in our personal lives, but we're going to see the world start to shift. That's why you're starting to, even like things like companies. I mean, you're seeing a company that's basically deemed a new company, right? Facebook is not a company of the old. It's not Ford. It's not a Volvo. It's not any one of these companies that's been here forever, right? It's a new company. But you're seeing it shift into a newer space. And you're seeing a lot of companies of old, even the television networks that have been around since television really started in the U.S. and on the world. I mean, NBC, ABC. You're starting to see them step into a different space with them taking on streaming, going on to the streaming networks and all that. This light's going to really piss me off. Try to position myself to block it. There we go. A little darker, but I'd rather have that. All right, yeah, that's better. Yeah, so you're starting to see the companies of old shift into the future, and you're even starting to see the new companies that were deemed futuristic shift further into the future, right? So major changes are happening all around us. We're starting to see this cryptocurrency thing actually become a more realistic thing. Uh, I think what's the other thing? Damn, not crypto. It's based on the token as well. I can't think of what it's called right now. It's the artwork though. The thing that's based off the artwork. It'll come to me. But those NFTs. So NFTs, I believe, are still to be played with, but they're going to end up being a thing. So, like I said, things are shifting. So, as things are shifting, we want to make sure that we're staying in tune. Uh, Back in the day, you would see people so called get left behind, right? And being left behind is really has nothing more to do with just the world changing and you not keeping up with it. Now, keeping up with the changes that are going on doesn't mean you have to follow everything. There are going to be some things that change for the better, some things that change for the worse. There are going to be some changes that suit you and some changes you feel like, nah, could have did without this change, right? But within all that being said, you want to always keep yourself aware and abreast of what's actually going on in the world that you live in. So, as the world's changing, you are going to be forced to subtly change with it. And if you do not change with it, that's how you usually get into situations where you get to homelessness. You get into even, if it's not homelessness, with older folks where they kind of just, they stay. Let's say there was a grandma, flat screens is out, but she still got the floor model TV. No cable, no type of internet. And I'm not clowning because my shit's not really spectacular. I'm not really a straight techie person. I'm not into tech for just the sake of having it. But I'm into knowing what is going on. And I'm also into things that are useful. So as the world changes, the tools are going to change. Even with the advent of the internet, that changed everything. That's why NBC is now streaming, because of the internet. So we have to keep up with the changes that the world's making. Whether we like it or not, we should be keeping ourselves abreast. It's one of the main things that's going to be important. And don't shy away from learning new things. Also, when you're in the process of learning something new, all this shit that I'm doing, even right now, I have everything running through a software that I had to learn how to use, OBS Studios. So I had to go on, study it, and make sure. Then after you study something, right? So you this is life, y'all, and not to ramble, but it's a reading, so I can do that. I just started a new podcast where it's a little less rambling, a little more direct to the point. So if you want to check that style out of me having a more concrete, type of format or outline, watch the podcast. Episode 1 was posted last night. So as far as this goes, as the world's changing, the tools are changing. It's what it is. As the tools change, you're going to need to know how to shift and move with them. That's what's going to get you left behind. So we're going to jump into the reading, and we're going to see how or what changes are ultimately happening in your life. I believe there was something else I wanted to say, but I cannot think of what it was. So what changes are ultimately happening? What changes are coming for my collective? I shuffled this, so I'll give it one shuffle. I shuffled it a lot before I got on, and then I shuffled it a couple times with y'all. Alright, let's see what comes out. It's going to come out, baby. Okay, so I feel like... Here we go. I'm trying to find the center of this shit. Alright, so we got this card. Damn. Life. Alright. We got this card. Y'all seen my missings pop through on that one too. So we got this card, right? This is the card of definitely walking away with something. You're not walking away empty-handed, but it's more so walking away with what you came in with. So it's kind of of course, in every reading, it's going to be based upon the individual, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you walked in with a little, you're walking away with a little. If you walked in with a lot, you're walking away with a lot. but no one has taken anything from you. Now, what I am seeing is with you walking away like this, you're really walking away from defensiveness. This is like guards up. That's the first thing I heard when I saw this card. Guards up. So I feel like you have been, and remember, this whole reading's about change. So I feel like you've been defensive towards the idea of change. Whatever change has been required of you to make, a lot of this that we're talking about is going to be realigning you and putting you where you need to be to follow your purpose. So whatever changes you're being asked to make, or you're being led to make, divinely guided to make, it's going to, fast track you, maybe not even fast track you, but it's at least going to put you on the path. So whereas you continue walking your path, you're going to find your purpose. What's up? Thank you. I'm good. How you doing? I'm super good. I haven't been on in a minute. So it's the first reading, but I got a new setup. We're doing it with podcast style, so it's a little different. But yeah, so it's looking like you guys are definitely walking away from being defensive towards the idea of changing. And that's a major thing. If you can walk away from being defensive towards the idea of changing, that means you're ready to make these changes, like I said, which will ultimately put you on the correct path. Now, this card lets me know that physically you haven't made the changes yet. You're still at the crossroads. You're still standing in the middle. You haven't decided to walk through the portal onto this journey just yet. But mentally, that's why, basically before mentally, you weren't even standing here. You were way back there somewhere. You probably wasn't even looking at these two wands. You wasn't at the portal. You wasn't about to walk through the portal. You was way on the other side of the world, maybe somewhere, not even thinking about this. Now, you become so intrigued with the idea of change and what that change can do for you and produce in your life, and even realizing that you're actually being divinely guided. Like, okay, this isn't just, for some of you guys, it's something that's been a background thought in your mind, right, for some time now. For others, it's been a really, really, really nagging thought in your mind. And it's like, all right, so this is not just something that's just nagging me for no reason. This is literally, I'm being guided to walk through this damn portal. Also, we can look at the lunar energy that's even leading you. A lot of times, if I'm just in the room by myself, my window actually have a very small window. It's not a regular window. It's like, it reminds me of some Shawshank Redemption, like a jail freaking window. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shady window. But anyway, it's very small, petite window. Like a half a window. It's like, opened, I can only open it like this big. So the full window is like this big, like this tall. So when I'm in bed at night, I'll be minding my own business, and I can feel, not always, it just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm energetically tapped in, I'll be literally, and this is not like, when I say energetically tapped in, I don't mean necessarily trying to be like, I'm not in a state of meditation or anything. I'm just in that mode. You know what I mean? Just naturally, just kind of zoned out. I will literally be awakened, like not from sleep. If I'm just sitting there, just kind of like zoned out, I can feel the weight of the moon, the pressure of the moon. I mean, the energy of the moon on me is very strange. It's like a slight push, or I don't know if you ever did the force field thing with your hands where you create the friction, and it's like you can feel something, even though it's not there. It's light, but it's heavy. It's a weird feeling, but the moon does emit that type of energy. And if you're tapped in, you can definitely feel the energies. And it looks like you're tapping into a lot of the lunar. If it's not the moon specifically, this is just here letting me know that you're tapping in to energies that are beyond your understanding, but you're allowing them to lead you on the correct path. Let's keep going. What changes? So your mind's changing. That's what's changing. Your mind is changing. Look, soon as I said your mind is changing, what comes up? The Seven of Swords. What do the swords represent? They represent your thoughts. They also represent your words. So the way you think about something could be changing. Also the way you speak on something. A lot of us who are involved in the tarot community, we really understand, or the spiritual community, whatever it is, we understand that our words definitely hold a lot of weight, a lot of power. So if we want something to be positive, we know we cannot continue to speak negatively on it. So I believe that is a big reason why you're beginning to change the way you speak about things, the way you speak about yourself, the way you see yourself, the way you think about yourself. You're not bad talking yourself. That's just the first thing that came to mind. Like, because if you wouldn't have to change it if it wasn't something that was more so of a hindrance. So I feel like you were doing a lot of negative self-talk, a lot of bad talking, sulking over mistakes, regrets, shit like that. You're no longer doing that. Your mind's changing on that. Why? Because you're realizing you can't. If you want to go through this portal, there's certain things you must leave behind. And as I always say with this card, this is someone who has built something on unstable ground. Unstable ground. They notice it's unstable once they've put down this we call it the foundation. They start to see the sand shift up under it and see, I can't build anything on top of this. So this is you noticing you can't build anything on top of the mind, the state of mind that you currently sit with. The way you think, you can't build on top of those thoughts. Why? It's like creating a tower moment. If you try to build positivity on top of negativity, all you're going to get is a tumbling of that tower, because the negative energy, it can't uphold, it can't uplift. It doesn't have the energy to actually uphold your positiveness that's sitting on top of it. So it will ultimately fall. Not necessarily a bad thing, but you'll have to start over. Now, because you were building positivity on top of negativity, it's still better than building negativity on top of negativity. So if you find yourself in a tower moment because, yeah, you are building upon positivity, but you still had a mix of that negative in there, when you're rebuilding, you're going to find it a lot easier, a lot more easing, a lot more calming as you're doing it. You're not going to be so frantic. It's not going to be your ordinary tower moment where you've ripped out a tower, you have no idea what to do, you have to rebuild. No, because you were already building positivity on top of the negativity. So you're going to be able to keep the positivity. That's not going to go anywhere. That energy is going to sustain. And you're going to just now, what is essentially happened is the negativity got destroyed, not the positivity. Unless it's your choice. So if you take the tower and just be like, oh shit, I should have never been positive, I'm going back to the neggy, then you're going to get them results. But if you take it as, all right, well, at least I got done with all that negative-ish, and now it's on to the positive, then you're going to have all of that positive left, and that will be your new foundation to build upon. So either way, you'll be in a good place. What else is changing? What else is changing? Look, we get the moon that came up again. You're starting to listen to your intuition. You're tapping in more so to your feminine side. The feminine side is the side that really is tapped into that intuition. Is really looking for guidance from things that they may not be able to tangibly use their five senses on. Touch, smell, see, hear. But they're using their intuition to tap in to get these answers. So you're really like basking in the moonlight. Also, when I see a dog, I think of companion. When I see a crab, technically I think of companion because of The Little Mermaid. And who was Sebastian? Sebastian was basically The Little Mermaid's spirit guide. You know what I mean? It was like her spirit animal. With her, also Flounder as well. We're not going to pull Flounder out of the equation. Them two was with Ariel the whole way through, made sure she didn't go through anything that could get her killed, basically. And if she ever got too close, they ran back and made sure, and not snitching, because now if King Triton did play an authoritative figure, but he wasn't a cop, he wasn't a lawyer, he wasn't a judge, he was no one that was going to, you know, it wasn't that type of situation. So that's why I don't really deem them to in snitch territory when they go back to King Triton and be like, yo, Ariel's in trouble. That's her dad. They're letting her know, like, okay, Ariel done got herself in some trouble. She traded her voice to the Sea Witch. This is what's going on, bro. And they know he's a authoritative figure that can help him out. So you may have this type of person in your life, an authoritative figure, maybe someone older, maybe someone younger, maybe someone who's just your Sebastian, your person that's with you till the end, whatever. The dog, same type of energy, companion to the end. If you don't have this, it looks like your intuition is leading you to become better acclimated with that type of energy, to not shun away from true love. Because see, Sebastian and Flounder, very non-sexual relationship, of course, especially because it was a cartoon. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't rooted in that type of chemistry. You know what I mean? The chemistry between a man and a woman, or whatever. A fish and a fish. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. It was rooted in friendship. It was a true love type of friendship. It was a friends till the end type of bond. So you're definitely being called and led to people that's going to give you that type of energy. What's it called? Someone just said this in another reading. What they say, they didn't say this, what I'm saying, but oh, they made a reference to the Chucky doll. That's what it was. I'm your friend until I never watched Chucky, so I know. Blow me up in the comments section. Never seen it, but I seen, I think, the newer ones, but I never saw the classic ones. But your friend until the end. They want you to find friends until the end. So basically, dependable people. That's what they want you to look for. Looks like you're coming out of hermit mode. And stepping into more so abundance. Okay, that was definitely confirmation. So you're closing the door on a lot. You're closing the door on anything that didn't make you feel like this. Anything that made you feel the opposite of how this person feels, you're closing the door on. You're not having it. So that's a major change, because I feel like you left the door open to a lot of things that would put you in a negative state of mind. So now you're not dealing with energies of that sort. Too many. We're going to do one or two more cards. Dude, give me one more card from this deck for what's changing, and then I'll pull a couple cards from this money deck and see what's changing in your finances. What's changing? What is changing for my collectors? This is a timeless reading. Make sure you hit the like button if you're watching it. Subscribe to the channel. You're going to see me a lot more. I got the new podcast out where we're going to be tapping into a lot of different topics. So make sure you subscribe, tap that bell so you're notified. Yeah, what's changing? Conflict. You're no longer dealing with conflict in your life. You're done with it. You're done. You're done, son. You done one. You know what I mean? You're done. You're done, son. You're done one. Sorry, that's a song. You're done. You're done. You're done, son. You're done one. Let's see what I do with that. All right. Yeah, so you're done. You're done, son. You done won. You done won. You won, and you overcame all of this. Any type of turmoil. For some of you guys, this was like with actual people. Like you were in conflict and arguments and fights with actual human beings. For others of you, this was more so a mental conflict, but you're done with all that. You've overcome that. So you're walking into a very peaceful space. You're knowing what you want, and everything that you've gone through has definitely helped you to grow. So you've grown so much to the point of chinking off your armor. We talked about this in the podcast last night when we were dealing with Will's experiences of bullying. And we were just saying that, or I was just saying to you guys that when you are bullied or when you go through traumatic experiences, it does cause you to put on this armor. And it's up to you to figure out if you are actually shielding yourself, protecting yourself, or are you hurting yourself. So you've healed past the point of just armor on just to have it on. Like, bro, you're not, there's no war today, bro. Why do you have your armor on? You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to war for the next 6 months. It's cool to be prepared, but you don't want to be over prepared. Like, no, there's really no war. It's been peacetime for the last 2 years, right? So you're at a point where you're like, okay, it's peacetime. There's no war. Let me take this armor off. Let me put down my guard. Let me put down my defenses. So you're definitely going to see a lot of changes just from your energy changing. Now let's see what changes are coming in financially. And then I will leave you guys with this. Okay, changes coming in. Faith. Can you see this? No, I don't think you can. Faith is key. Faith is key. So the amount of faith that you used to have, I believe you used to have wavering faith. Your faith is being highlighted. Your faith is being strengthened. So you're now believing in things you never believed in before. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The reason why your faith is being strengthened is the reason Robert Kiyosaki's strength was being lifted. The story of Robert Kiyosaki, he's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Did I ever read this book? I don't think I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. No, I don't think I own this. But I know his story well. My mom banged with this book heavy, and I've watched a lot of his, talks. So his whole thing and the basis of this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is he came from more so the traditional financial family. Middle class, damn near, not poor, but just not rich at all. I think his father was a teacher. I want to say his dad was a teacher. And his best friend's father was rich. So that's who he calls his, which seems a little shady, but that's who his rich dad is. His father's friend, and his poor dad is his father, who was a school teacher. So basically, long story short, he wants to learn about making money. He asks his father about it. His father tells him, which makes his father very, 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 and this is the type of people you want to be around. People that are not going to try to discredit you for doing something that they haven't done. Right? So instead of his father trying to discredit his idea of wanting to become rich, he tells him, listen, son, I'm not the man to talk to about that subject. You want to learn how to get rich, talk to your friend's father. These are the type of people the Moonlight is leading you to. These type of mugs. Yeah, I mean, some real ones. So his father was a real one, obviously. Told him, go talk to your friend's dad. He can teach you. He knows how to get rich. He's rich. So Robert goes talk to his friend's dad. You got to read the book to get all the meat and potatoes. But he basically starts to get the information, and it wasn't easy. There was a lot of things he didn't understand, but he starts to get the information on how to become rich. This is what gives people faith. This is what gives you the will to go on. I mean, at the end of the day, faith is great. Blind faith can be dangerous. Blind faith can actually be stupid, y'all. I mean, blind faith is crazy at times. And also blind faith, what I've seen, can oftentimes turn into wavering faith because you're not really sure of what you believe in, why you believe in it. You're just blindly believing it without having an understanding of what you believe. So you are beginning to have a stronger sense of faith because you're starting to get more information. I have another book. This one I actually own and have read a good bit of it. I think I probably read about 70% of this book. It's called How to Unleash the Hidden Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Great book. Each chapter is like how to overcome the fear of this, how to overcome this in your subconscious mind, how to do this. So it's very, very good book. Everyone should own this book. And I mean, especially if you're in the self-development and really becoming the best version of yourself, it's a must-have book. So in this book, they talk about in a chapter of overcoming fear, like how to rid your subconscious mind of fear. And the main thing was the fact that we fear what we don't know. So if you want to become, let's say, a doctor, but you don't know any doctors, you've never met a doctor, you're from the hood, I mean, you live on 21st Street in the hood, 21st and Martin Luther King Boulevard, right? And you want to become a doctor, a surgeon, you're going to have a greater sense of fear than the kid whose mom is a doctor, his uncle's a doctor. They have doctor friends come over. They're always speaking doctor jargon, right? So the way for you to overcome your fear of stepping into this is to actually gain more information about this field. How does it feel to be a doctor? How do doctors live? What are the terms? What are the things that I need to know before I even approach this as a field? What are the mind states? Like before I started rapping, y'all, like really taking it seriously, knowing I'm going to get a studio and all that. This is actually about 5 years ago. I took a 3-year break because my studio broke down. I went through a lot of shit. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But anyway, before I actually purchased my first, and actually my twin purchased my first piece of gear, which is this mic that I'm speaking to you on, right? So she purchased that for me 5 years ago. And I built the studio from there. Took me like maybe 2 months to get everything else. I already had a laptop, so I just had to grab a couple of the things. Bang. But before I ever did that, before she ever bought me the mic, before I ever reached out to her and told her what I wanted to do in the first place for her to know that, oh, Jim want a mic, right? Before that happened, I researched a lot about, I didn't even know that it was possible for independent rappers to be able to make it on their own without signing a deal. So that was my first discovery, and I discovered that through Source bringing that information to me. I was looking up how to make money independently. I mean, and after scouring the internet, seeing a lot of different things, taking notes, seeing like, oh, okay, this is interesting, this is cool. Guess what popped up? Independent rapper, how to, what was it? It had like, oh, I think it said, I don't know, it had like the number amount. It was some crazy, like whatever number, it had like a certain amount. I mean, it had money attached to it, like how to make this much as an independent rapper. Like, what? What are you talking about? Now, for me, I've always rapped my whole life. The reason why I pretty much gave up on the idea of rapping is because I'm a tourist. So at the end of the day, being a tourist, I'm on the cusp, but being a tourist, being from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we don't have a strong music scene, just my logical side was going to say, all right, my bullish side is going to say rap forever. That's why I still got flow. That's why I'm still sharp. Because even when I wasn't taking it on as a career, I was still rapping. There's never really been a day, a week where I didn't come up with a line. I didn't say, yeah, I mean, I always been rapping. But my sensible Torian side, my stable side said, all right, Jen, you're going to have to do something to make some money. So I did the CNA route. I was actually journeying to be a nurse, a RN, but even through being a CNA, actually that kind of made me want to be an RN a little more because it's a lot less. It's a different job. I'm not going to say it's easier, but it's a lot less physical in certain terms, especially if you're working long-term care and you're passing meds as opposed to wiping ass. I mean, it's two different things. So I was still kind of on board, like, all right, nursing. Once I started going to school, really wasn't, there was nothing that truly turned me off from nursing. The only thing that turned me off from nursing was I didn't have a passion for it. And the way I looked at it was, for me to learn, because nursing is biology, it's chemistry, it's like some heavy, heavy things. And it's like, okay, if I'm going to put my time and effort into learning something, it has to be not enjoyable, because learning this was not enjoyable. Learning how to set up the podcast was not enjoyable. Learning how to mix and master my music is not enjoyable. But the fact that I want to rap, that's enjoyable. Then I can bear through all the hard shit, all the annoying stuff, all the things that make me want to just say, fuck dreads, I don't need my hair, all that. I can push through it because I know I got something that I love on the other end. You know what I mean? I love coming on, creating content. It's one of the great things of the 21st century that we have, that we can just get on here and talk stuff. I love it. So these things led to me doing things I actually love. So no matter how annoying it was to set up my studio equipment, to set up this OBS, to learn how to mix and master, I could get through it. Nursing, not the same thing. Now, for other people, that is their passion, so they can definitely get through it. And I saw that as well. As I was in the field, I could see who was passionate about it. Like, okay, yeah, you really into this shit. This is your thing. You know what I mean? So I was able to just kind of like, okay, this is not my thing. So as I delved off, I was able to get the information that I needed to put me on my path, to give me the confidence. Because remember, before I wasn't rapping because I was scared to rap. Why? Because I was scared of not having stability in my life. You know what I mean? Once I found out there's ways to supplement your income by rapping, by creating content, then I was able to step up to the plate and take it seriously and get rid of that fear. And it's always an ongoing battle. But long story short, I said all of that to say you are beginning to research what you want. Learn what you need so you can kill the fear. You're learning that, damn, I'm only scared of the unknown, which is not, especially in today's world. Imagine our grandparents. If they ain't know some shit, and they couldn't get around someone who knew that shit that they need to know, then they just didn't know. You feel me? Only other way to know, which is thank God, but they were expensive as hell. What is it? What is it? Encyclopedias. And you know how much a volume of an encyclopedia, A through, I mean? So, and the encyclopedia didn't have everything. Like when I'm researching OBS, or if I'm researching how to record my own music. Well, say I'm in the 40s. I want to become an artist. I have to know someone. I mean, I can't look it up. Even if I looked it up in an encyclopedia, I'm sure there were books on it, but what I can do now is when I run into a problem, I can just type it in. Bang, it pops up. It's just step-by-step booklet for us to get out here, y'all. So you're starting to take advantage of this shit that we live in. And that's really what I've been big on. Ever since I started creating content, one of the first things I started really expressing was the era that we live in. Things are changing. Things were changing then. Things have changed since social media began, since Black Planet was out here. You know what I mean? Since MySpace. That was the beginning of this. Now we're in a great shift to where we have everything we need. We have all the information we could possibly get our hands on. It's just about, are we going to take advantage? Are we going to use it? Are we going to learn it and then apply it? Because to learn, I mean, analysis of paralysis, where you just get stuck in analyzing something, but you get paralysis. You ain't moving. You ain't doing shit. That's still part of that fear as well, where you're scared to take the action. So now to get past the paralysis, that's just you actually doing it. I just did an interview for the podcast, Ya Jag Off. It's called your jag off because it's one of the terms we use in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? So anyway, I go on this podcast, and that was a fear I had. That was my very first interview where I'm being spoken to and asked about my music career, my music, how I became a rapper. Go check out the interview on YouTube. I mean, it's right on this channel. No, but it will be. It will be soon. I'm gonna post it up soon. So I'll let you guys check that out when I post it. But you can go on your Jagoff podcast on Facebook and watch the full interview and also see the other guests that were on. It's really just celebrating people that are doing big things in Pittsburgh, all entrepreneurial things. And if I'm mentioning it, you may want to go on there on YA Jag JAG off OFF, right? Go on there because there may be someone other than myself who is doing something that you want to get into, and you can contact them or see what's up, or maybe it will be some type of, as far as like an intuitive hit based upon this reading, like, damn, this is the exact same thing I want to do. So go check out that full episode and see what pops out intuitively on that one. Also see me perform 2 songs and watch my full interview. But that was something that I had to get over. And it's not that, I never really, you got to think about it. Coming from not even realizing I could do this at all, to stumbling across it on the internet, to seeing like, oh shit, it is possible, to buying my studio gear, to years later, like I said, hiatus, crash down of my equipment, and not being able to, or not even realizing, there's a lot of stuff I just didn't know. So all of that, 5 years combination to the point of got the podcast up and running. I'm going on and being offered interviews. I'm getting reviews on the music. That's good. So I'm seeing a lot of things come in combination. All that from being a person who didn't even know any of this was possible. That's what overcoming fear looks like. So when it comes to the paralysis, where you just stuck, like I had to get up and make calls. I had to do certain things to make certain things happen, to gain interviews, to do this and do that, right? So that was me getting out of paralysis and not fearing that. Like, no, I can get an interview. Let me go try. So now that I got one interview, guess what? I can go get many more interviews. So at the end of the day, you are learning. And that's the best space you can be to fight any type of fear on anything you want it to do. One more card, and then we out of here, because this, I stayed on here for a minute with y'all. One more card, and I'm out. If you in here, say what's up, because I can't see who's in the rooms. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. Hit me with a hello, or what's up. I'm going to start using my phones to really navigate what's going on with these lives. All right, invest in your future. So that's a change that you're making. You're really taking it more seriously. I don't think you were not investing in your future, but now I think you're becoming more aware of what your future is going to be, or what you want to make of your future. And now that you have a clearer picture of where you're headed, you can begin to invest in the proper things to get you there. This is the last card, y'all. I'm out of here after this, y'all. Before I show y'all this card, don't ever sleep on me as a reader. I kind of come and go. In my life, I come and go as I please. I'm not really someone that's going to be tied down to anything. I do my own thing, y'all. So I love doing the readings. I love giving this energy. I've always been intrigued by tarot since I ran into it myself, and then I got the hit that I was supposed to do it as well, but I'm not supposed to be tied down by it. But I will always, when I feel the need, come through to share this energy and to give the messages that I feel like we all need. So I wanted to say that just to let y'all know, it's still me, baby. I'm still one of the baddest ones to do it out here, because the last card that came out is stay open to change. Stay open to change. The whole reading, y'all. What's changing? What changes are coming in? The whole time we've been talking about how the big change is that you're actually open to change. You're putting your guard down. So that ends the reading, y'all. You're staying open to change, and you're going to see massive results because of this. This is going to be a huge shift for you. I believe whatever path you're going to be on, whatever downloads or shifts you go through in this time period, you're going to really be able to learn from them and keep these lessons with you. These are going to be things that you can always kind of refer back to. Like, nah, I remember because when I went through it this time, this happened, so I'm going to attack it like this. This is one of these moments. So you're like pretty much in the middle of writing your own blueprint right now. You feel me? So it's looking good. It's looking great. On the bottom of the deck, something told me to look. Stop dimming your light because others are blinded. So stop dimming your light because others are blinded. Stop not being your true self because others don't get it. Stop doing anything based upon others. All right? That is the conclusion that I believe you're making. And if you haven't made it, that is the conclusion that is going to be had. That you don't got time to dim your light. I mean, you gotta. Mark Wahlberg said it best in The Other Guys. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly, man. You gotta let me fly. Peacocks don't fly, but to Mark Wahlberg, they do fly. Peacocks do. You know they fly. You know, Will Ferrell tried to. They if they get a real good running start, they can get off the ground. Maybe a couple, 2 or 3 inches. But that's what it is. Who cares if peacocks can't fly? If you a peacock and you want to fly, you can fly. And you're not going to let others tell you peacocks can't fly. You feel me? All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I hope you guys appreciate, enjoyed, and liked the reading. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thumbs me up. Hit the bell. Check out the new podcast. And I'll see y'all when I get back with another one on my DJ Khaled shit. I'm out, y'all. Peace.